Hey guys, I'm with Dee Evans, the creator of ProCoachBusinessAcademy.com. Dee, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I am a business coach to rising coach entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. And what I do is I help coaches get their business set up the right way, right from the start. What I can do is I can help you skip through all that ickiness of startup, and I can help you have fun in the process and help you get your business started the right way, right from the start. And then that way you don't have to spend years in struggle and trial and tears and quitting. So you can just really literally hit the ground running in 120 days at Pro Coach Business Academy.
Sounds great. I'm really looking forward to asking you, digging deeper into certain questions about just business development for coaches.
Okay.
Specifically, you told me that webinars are a key part of your, the marketing strategy that you do and the marketing strategy that you teach coaches how to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been looking for someone to interview about webinars in the coaching industry. And so I'm excited to ask you, like, how does the webinar funnel work? Like what is involved? Tell us about the whole process of the webinar funnel and how you get more coaching clients through webinars.
Okay. As coaches, we have a service-based industry. We're heart-based, heart-centered, service-based. And so our industry is not an industry like Walmart where people walk in the store, grab us off the shelf, put us in their buggy and check out, pay for us. So what we as coaches have to do is build the know, like, trust factor. Why do we need to do that? Because we are inviting people to open up their lives to us, literally, the real tender things of their heart. So they need to get to know us and get to like us. And so the strategy here is called educational-based marketing. And to do that and to get your reach further is to do it web-based. And so we call those webinars. And so the sales funnel looks like, you're doing, what is it that you're passionate about? What is it that you do? And you put that in a webinar type of presentation. And then you invite people from Australia and from Alabama, all over the world. Brazil can literally see you. And as you are giving these golden nuggets, this valuable content, people actually walk away with actionable items that they can put into place in their business that will make great changes and help them. So with this educational-based marketing strategy, we build the know, like, trust factor. Proximity is power, let me tell you, because we're giving away this. Do not be afraid to give away your best stuff, okay? And speaking to new coaches, a lot of coaches say, well, I don't want to give away the farm. Why would they hire me? Well, the reason they hire you is because you help them to implement what they may already know what to do. It's like a life coach. And so we are in the implementation business, right? And so, building the know, like funnel through the sales funnel of the webinar strategy. In the webinar, you give this great content, and then you're seeding your offer all the way through the webinar, because guess what? This is only a tiny portion of what we have for our clients, and then we open up. I know that some of you, and the way that we do that is we say something to the effect of, I've given you all this great value today in this webinar, and some of you can take this and run with it, and others, you may want to work with someone to help you implement what you've learned today. And so this is where you give your what we call the irresistible offer, and you invite people to typically it is the discovery session. Speaking of the sales funnel, that's where you will invite the person to meet with you one-on-one, and then you'll go through your discovery session, which is strategized for success, right? It's not, and we'll talk about that later. But anyway, so you have this one-on-one conversation, and then you both determine whether you're a good coach-client fit. If you are, then you invite the person to work with you in your coaching practice. And then another thing that you could do, another way that you could use this is to launch from the platform. That means that in the webinar, you send people straight to the link to sign up to a workshop so that you don't have the discovery session. So those are two ways to work that funnel.
I think that's a good high level overview of how the webinars work and how you can use it to attract a life coaching client.
Mhm.
And what I'm curious about though is like, how do you get people to your webinar?
Okay. And typically we use social media to do this, and we post on LinkedIn, Facebook groups. We have joint ventures with other like-minded coaches who have our same target market, but we're not in competition with each other. And then there's another way, is to simply hire a marketing team to do that for you. And we do blog posts, and then again, this is something that we generate that excitement, and your passion is what's going to drive the registrations. Now, build it and they will come, doesn't really work. So we do need to have a strategy for that. And one of the strategies that I use is a 12-month annual marketing calendar. And then that way, in this calendar, you always know what you're supposed to be doing, when you're supposed to be doing it, and how you're supposed to be doing it. So you are never lost. You just go to that calendar and go, okay, this is the promotion that I'm working on this month. So
I want to hear more about that. So the annual marketing calendar, like, how does it look month to month? Like, is it like a daily thing, or like is it just one strategy you're focusing on a month, or what's included in that calendar?
What that helps you to do, it helps you to get an at a glance view of your business for the entire year. It helps you really sit down and structure what you're marketing and when you're marketing. So for instance, in my business, I am a business planning and goal setting coach, and I help you implement those plans and goals that you set. And so this at a glance calendar, what it does, it helps you structure and helps you to get in tune with the marketplace. Okay, so for me, that looks like in the fourth quarter of a year, I know that my target market is interested in planning and goal setting. They know they're supposed to have a plan. They know they're supposed to have goals, but business is business. They're overwhelmed and they just hadn't gotten to it. So what we do is we sit down and look at what your target market is, what your niche is, and what should you be promoting in fourth quarter. What likely will your target market be drawn to in the first quarter of the year? For me, that looks like it's not too late to get 2019 off to a great start with this one-day intensive where you walk away with this golden six-figure annual marketing plan. Okay, and so it just helps you to sit down and really, really, really focus and engage with your target market and really figure out what they want so that you can supply them with what they want when they want it. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
No, that makes a lot of sense. Like, it's all about kind of responding to what your target market's needs and like making a content plan that matches them. I'm curious though, like if you were to generalize a little bit, what would be like a typical, like what's a typical month in this annual marketing calendar? What's like, if you just looked high level at this month, what would be included in it? In December 2018, what's happening in one of your clients' calendars?
Great question. Thank you. So in the fourth quarter of a year, I know that what I'm going to be doing is I'm presenting the webinar, and that is 5 keys to a stress-free coaching practice. Now, for me, working with newly certified professional coaches, stress and overwhelm is what they are struggling with. Okay, and so that webinar, I'm going to give 5 keys that coaches can actually take home and implement immediately, okay, to get them out of the stress. Okay, so that's number 1 in December. And for that webinar, it's happening this December the 6th, 2018. And then from that webinar, I am enrolling to a VIP workshop, a group workshop, and that is called, I'm going to look over here and make sure that I get it right. It is my 6-figure annual marketing calendar, of course, right? So what we do is we spend a full day, that'll be about 4 hours, and we'll have templates for you. And so we'll just go through for the 4 hours. We'll be taking breaks in between, of course. And you will walk away with this marketing calendar that will set you up for success. Let me give you an example of how that worked for me. Recently, I had to have unexpected surgery, and I was out for like 6 weeks. And I was like, trying to get back into business, trying to get my business started back again. You know how hard that is after you've been away for like 6 weeks, right?
Definitely.
I was golden. It was so cool. And I've just latched onto this idea, which is one of the reasons why I'm really excited to share it. I went to my annual marketing calendar. I saw that December was coming up. I knew I had enough time to work, get these materials ready. So in November, I started preparing for these launch for this webinar in December, and also the workshop that I'm offering. And that, by the way, is going to be the 14th of December. So I will offer webinar, give you all this great free content, get you out of stress, get you out of overwhelm, and then offer to work with you to help you implement those things that we talked about in the webinar.
Gotcha. What's unique about your strategy, or at least to me, is that it seems like you have one or two like big like focuses per month. And I've seen a lot of other marketing calendars where it's like kind of crammed, like several things a day, and it's like kind of a daily thing. But I like that you actually have, and there's pros to that strategy as well, but I actually like that you have like, okay, December, we're focusing on the webinar, and like, that's it. We're just trying to get people into the webinar. And so it's very focused. It's like, it allows you to go deep into tactics.
Absolutely. What it does is it streamlines your focus. Focus is so important because, especially for new coaches and or struggling coaches, their focus is running after all these shiny objects. And I work with newly certified coaches. And what I did, my story is your story. In the beginning, I ran after all these shiny objects out here, and I take this course, and I literally was piecemealing together my business. That did not work. As per my first brand failed. Why is a business coach telling you that their first brand failed? Is because I want you to know that I've been where you are. I've been struggling, and I've run after all of those shiny objects, and it just gets you in overwhelm. So when I rebranded and I started this new company, I started it specifically for new coaches and or struggling coaches, so they could just have a under one roof, step by step. And my platinum program is called 7 Steps to a 6-Figure Coaching Practice. And then we just go step by step by step, and then that eliminates years, literally years, because we get in the habit of training and never implementing, and there's so much other stuff there. But for me, I wanted my clients to have a structured way to set up their business the right way, right from the start. So we roll people into a community where that they are with like-minded people, and they're all doing the same thing, new coaches, struggling coaches, so you have peer support. And as a training instructor at a really popular coach training school, I know that my clients absolutely need that community-based, and going that solo and doing it alone will just make you feel lonely, like a lonely entrepreneur, and doing it by yourself. So, when you work with me, you go from solopreneur to entrepreneur, meaning you have a coach. You have a team now, okay? When you hire a coach, you have a team. And then as I plug you into a place where you'll have a webinar.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same position. It's so important to have a team. And, that's something that I've been building recently, is just putting more and more energy into focusing on building a team and, hiring and doing things that I would never have done when I first started. But realizing that it's totally essential to have a team if you want to really go far and you want to really like 10x your results, or even like 100x your results. So team is so important, and too many coaches try to do it alone.
100% agree with you. And they think that they can't afford it, but you can afford it. And if you can't afford it, then you're an entrepreneur, and we need to realize that we cannot do it by ourselves. That leads to burnout, overwhelm. and a burned out business like mine was, you know. But anyway, so this is just really encouraging. It should be encouraging to new coaches to go, okay, you know, there's a way that I can have a team, you know, and it'll help me in the beginning. And it's just a really cool thing that, like you said, most new coaches, they go, oh, you know, I can't do this right now. And they won't delegate and they won't let go. So anyway, these are some things that I help coaches do as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's so, so important, and I'm totally with you there. And I want to also ask you about, like, we talked before, and you said you had your own niche refinement, like, story and process, where, like, you struggle with your own niche, and that's something that I am helping life coaches do is refine theirs. So I want to hear about your niche refinement story, and tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, in the beginning, when I signed up to in coach training school, I signed up to be a wellness coach. I was in alternative health practices, and I had some really great stories of healing, a dread disease, you know. And so I started coaching to be a wellness coach. Well, when it came time to really knuckle down and determine my niche, I went with logic. I went with brain. I went with the monkey mind, which said, okay, well, there's the coaching industry is saturated with wellness coaches. I had no idea. Who told me that? Nobody, right? You
Right.
know, and so I go, okay, well, what are some other things that I'm pretty good at, you know? And I determined that parenting coaching, that there might be a hole in the market, right? And so I niched as a parenting coach. Now, while I had a lot of passion about it and while I did a pretty good job at it, you know, it just wasn't happening for me. And the reason why is because that there wasn't that driving passion in that niche for me. It was something that came intellectually and not from my heart. Okay. So I spent like 5 years with this company doing everything, single thing that I could. And then I was again, you know, in training mode all the time, you know, signing up for all those shiny objects and just piecemealing my business together. And when I finally come to the point of like, okay, this is not working, I quit. Well, I started dusting off my resume, trying to decide I was going to go get a job, Matt. I mean, just a job. I was sick to death of it. And I know some of your listeners are going, raising their hand. Me too, right? Well, you know what, Matt? I was looking at my resume and I was like, you know, coach training instructor, World Coach Institute for 5 years, helping teach SEF4 competencies to new coaches. And all of this training that I had with these training courses that I had been through. And all of my resume was coach, coach, coach. And I was like, I can't do anything else because of my love for coaching. And so I was just driving myself crazy. And I got on the phone, tried to call my business coach, wasn't able to do that. And I had a student call me. And she was like, Coach D, I'm just in peril here. I don't have a niche and I can't figure out what it is. And I was like, okay, well, let me help you with that. So I went through this process, this coaching session with one of my past students, and we nailed her niche. I mean, absolutely nailed it. And she was just so happy with it. And so about 2 weeks later, I said, ding, 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 let me use the same coaching strategy that I used with Nicole, that I can use that on myself.
Mm.
Then I found my passion was business coaching, and I found my passionate target market was life coaches. And it just made all the difference in the world. It doesn't come from logic, it comes from the heart. I love new coaches because they are so passionate. They want to change the world. We need these light workers in the world. Now, when I was doing my research, 93% of coaches fail. That is just intolerable because I see my students, how bright, how brilliant, how smart, the change makers that they are. And the thought of having, and I've trained upwards towards 1,000 students now, and to think that, you know, you do that math there, what is that? You know, 770 made it out of those 1,000 that I've trained. Good grief, you know, so now I'm on a mission, you know, I'm on a mission to help brilliant life coaches get out there in the world and make the changes that need to be made. Help those people who are struggling, who are raising their hands, I need your help. So, and I'm so passionate about that, and it is firing on all 8 cylinders now. So pretty excited about it.
That's great. I mean, you and me both, we do something very similar. I mean, that's why I got into contact with you. We have slightly different approaches, but we do a similar kind of, there's a lot of similarities too. So, different strategies, but same kinds of like principles, I think. You said you had a webinar coming up. So if you can let everyone know what's involved with that and how they can get in touch with you, let us know.
Okay. All right. So the 5 keys to a stress-free coaching practice, that webinar is happening on December the 6th. And who's it for? It's for life coaches who are new, coaches who are struggling, and coaches who are perfectionists. And if you're an overachiever, and if you're an ADD junkie, and if you're a do-it-yourselfer coach, specifically for you, because your business may be running your life if you are all of these things, trying to do all of this yourself. And so what I wanted, the 5 steps are helping ambitious coaches do that icky office stuff that they don't want to do. They're creative people. I know you coaches are creatives, and being stuck behind your desk doing office work is not what you really signed up to do. You signed up to coach. So what I do is I help you get through that setup and help you set it up the right way right from the start. Something else we do is I will teach you, let's see, why it's important to go from solopreneur to entrepreneur quickly, okay? And so we'll tell you why that's important. And then we teach how to work smarter, not harder, okay? We teach you how to actually structure your business so you're not running your business on a whim, okay? How many of us do that? I raised my hand, I did, but not anymore. And I can tell you, it is such a cool thing to have that plan in front of you. Clarity, simple steps, okay? And I help you streamline your business so that you have time freedom, so that you're not just overwhelmed and feel like you don't have a life and feel like, because we have other people that we're responsible to. For instance, my spouse, I was like, I want to contribute to the family budget, So, and then another thing we do is we teach you how to be a disciplined entrepreneur. Now, my students are always all over that, because a lot of times when you are setting up as a new coach, you don't have the business background to know how to set up your office and how to be productive and how to be focused. And so what we do is we go through those 3 things and teach you how to get really streamlined in your business so that you can actually accomplish those goals that you want to accomplish in your business.
That all sounds really good. I mean, the thing that like we have in common is we're both like helping life coaches think more strategically and think more like entrepreneurs and real business owners about their business. I like to help people think bigger, and you're doing that as well. Just treat your coaching business like an actual, like, fully operating business. And that's such an essential step in like a coach's roadmap. So I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, thank you, Matt. And the thing about it is when we sign up to be a coach and we have our own business, and it sounds so awesome, right? Our commute to work is just what we have to worry about, tripping over a cat, right? To get to our office, And so, we think that it's all going to be rosy and bloomy, but it's not. We have to be disciplined and we have to be streamlined. So yes, it's really important that, those coaches that have not had that business background or business previously, is to really learn how to be that entrepreneur.
Love it. All right. Thank you so much, Coach Dee.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I'll leave links in here for how you can get in touch with Coach Dee. I'll leave links in the post. Thanks again. Really appreciate it.
All right, Matt. Thanks a lot. And you get them spiritually aligned with their niche, and I'll set them up a marketing plan. Okay.
Sounds good. Sounds good.